Clam Blitz is the newest ranked mode in the Splatoon series. Unlike the other game types, it can be very confusing and easy to dislike. But once you understand how Clam Blitz works, you'll begin to love the new game mode. The rules are actually pretty simple. Score points by throwing clams in your opponent's basket. Now this is when things get complicated. In order to score, you must destroy this barrier, but the only way to break it is by throwing a power clam at it. Nowhere in the game does it tell you this except an obnoxiously large rulebook hidden inside the lobby. In order to create this American football, you must collect 10 tiny clams spread throughout the map. Once the basket is open, it will remain so until this 10-second timer is depleted. But you can add time back to the clock by scoring. Tiny clams will add 3 seconds. They also give you 3 points, while power clams fully reset the timer and give you 20 points. Once the time expires, a pity clam spawns and the barrier becomes unbreakable for another 10 seconds. If a pity clam is already under a goal, another one cannot spawn. Any unsuccessful push will add a penalty of half the points scored rounded down onto the scoring team's next push. Oh, and you cannot break your opponent's barrier if you are being scored on. To avoid ties, 1 point will be added to the last team that scored. There are 4 conditions that will activate overtime at the end of a match. The first one is when the losing team has a power clam. Second one is when the losing team is scoring. The third one is when the losing team's barrier is open, but they are winning before it was. Overtime activated by any of these conditions will end if the winning team scores, the winning team's barrier closes, the losing team loses all of their power clams, the losing team fails to break their opponent's barrier within 20 seconds, or the losing team takes the lead, giving them the victory. The final condition that will initiate overtime is if neither team scored, and it will last for 3 minutes or until a team does score. If 3 minutes go by without anyone getting on the board, then Alpha Team is defaulted the win. Now that we've gone over the rules, let's take a look at the game mode's mechanics. Clams can be picked up by moving near. They can be thrown at any time using either the A or L buttons. You can see how many clams you have by looking here, and how many each team has by looking here. You can super jump with both types of clams, but clams will dissolve after touching a spawn pad. Any clams that a player dropped will despawn after 10 seconds. Clams will show up on your map only if they are above your team's ink. Power clams are broadcasted to every player, similar to the Rainmaker. Tiny clams can be thrown further than power clams. These bumps will appear on certain maps to mark the furthest you can throw the power clam and score. Power clams paint the first surface they touch. Now that you know how Clam Blitz works, watch this episode of Understanding Splatoon 2 to learn secret techniques I use to win in Ranked.